Hey, it's John Logo here. I just want to do a very quick video on finding a niche market to love. A lot of people have a challenge in finding niche markets or finding markets to go into to do idea extraction or to prospect for services, and I guess from the foundation's point of view to do to look for the opportunity of generating software. So what I've done is put a very quick presentation together on how you can find niche markets to love. So the first thing is, what should you be looking for? I guess the first thing I'd say is think of professions or businesses or industries that you're aware of. So I would make a very, very quick list of those that pop into your head. Because every industry has lists of people within that market, so you've got the opportunity there. Take a walk down a main street in your town or city, write down all the businesses you see, and look at the niches that those businesses belong to. The next thing is I would go to a light industrial area or an industrial park and write down all the businesses that I see in those sorts of areas as well, because you'll find that there are multitudes of industries that perhaps you haven't even thought of as a niche market to have a look at. So the next thing is find out more and do the research, dude. First, Google is your friend. Essentially, Google search for lists or Google search for specific industry groups is a great way to go. So look at the industry, look at the list that you've written down, and go and search for the industry association that's relevant to the list of the businesses that you've got on your list. For example, e.g. the Printers Association of the USA. Essentially, the printers industry of America is a non-profit trade association which advocates the United States print industry. Now, it's the world's largest graphic arts trade association, representing more than 10,000 member companies. The industry is worth over 174 billion. This is just in the United States alone, let alone Europe and Australia and Asia as well as part of the opportunity. So I'm just picking one country to give you an example of the size of a particular industry niche as well. Finding the contacts, a classic example is the ASE, which is the Association of Association Executives. It represents more than 21,000 association executives worldwide. There's over 10,000 organizations in this not-for-profit organization, and it's based in 50 different countries around the world. This is an association for associations, so you can actually find different industry target or niche markets. In fact, according to this piece of information, there's over 10,000 niche markets that you can go to. So, for example, also finding contacts on LinkedIn using industry association or niche markets as a selection is another way to find them. Twitter, if you're looking at, there's a great service called Twello.com. You can actually type in a keyword. So, for example, if I was looking for, graphic designers or physiotherapists in Twello, then what it will do is it will search for those people who have the greatest list of people in that industry niche, and then if you want to connect with those people, you just follow other people's lists. So it's a great way to find literally thousands of people on niche lists. Facebook is another place that you can source out. You can actually go into the ad campaign of Facebook and see how many people are available to you in an industry niche by breaking down demographics in Facebook themselves. Industry association member lists. There's a lot of industry associations that actually print their lists of their members on their websites. So this is another place that you can pick up contacts. And then the local chapter list. A classic example of this, and I'll use again in the US, is the International Industry of Industrial Design. It has over 7,000 members in the US, but in California alone, the chapter has 360 members within the chapter in Los Angeles. So you can actually go to local chapters and they'll actually list their members on their local chapter websites as well. So it's another one that you can look at. What to look for in a niche. These are the things that I look for in a niche to, I guess, validate the opportunity of whether or not they would invest in ideas, software, or marketing. So, do they have employees? Really important. So, if a company's got employees, it's got responsibilities. It means it needs to grow to sustain its opportunity. Okay. Do they have software to run their businesses? Businesses that are already investing in software understand the importance of automation, or understand the importance of leveraging their ability to provide their product or service more effectively. Do they overtly spend money on marketing? Companies spending on marketing are companies or businesses that are growing. And what I mean by spending money on marketing, are they advertising, promoting, radio ads, TV ads, newspaper ads, magazine ads, online pay-per-click? banner ads? Do they advertise in directories? Again, companies that spend money on marketing are companies that want to grow, and these are great companies that have an opportunity for you to prospect as well. So, are there certifications and training programs for the niche that is industry based? Most industries, and you'll find this in associations, have professional training for their members, and also it might not be just training for specific skill sets, but it also could be marketing training, it could be business administration training. Anywhere there is training involved means that there are people that are being brought into an industry, and those people need systems and resources to do their jobs properly. So certifications and trainings are an indication of opportunity for I guess, for prospecting as well. Do they have to comply with industry-specific legislation regulations to deliver their products and services? If a company or an organization has to do this, a classic example of this is the real estate association, or if you look at their insurance or financial planning, these people, to deliver their services, have to comply with certain regulations, and when they comply with certain regulations, they have to supply their customer with that information as part of their process to engage their customers. So when legislation regulation comes into play, that is part of a business process. So that's also something that can be automated if you're looking at SaaS as an opportunity. So drilling into the sub-niches, how many subcategories are there? When you go to, a classic example is the Housing Industry Association of Australia. There are over 20 subcategories, and it has over 55,000 members nationally just in Australia alone. Are there multiple suppliers to an industry? A classic example is the print industry. If we look at the printing industry, you've got the people who do the printing, you've got offset printers, you've got digital printers, you've got graphic designers, you've got paper suppliers, you've got ink suppliers. Each of these different subcategories have an association or have a listing that you can find online. Do they have subchapter association memberships? I mentioned the Industrial Design Association of the United States. There are 3 subchapters in California alone. The Institute, or the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, have a subchapter in every major city in the United States. So you can actually go to these websites and find lists of people that you can do idea extraction from. Now, Dane Maxwell did a pressure test on me on the last call that we did in relation to finding niche markets, or making it easy to find niche markets. And he basically asked me to demonstrate how I find markets, or how I find niche market lists. So I chose 2 niche markets. I chose staffing companies and printers, and I'm just going to show you exactly what I would do to go and find lists of people that I can contact or prospect in the market. This is the fastest way that I know how to find lists, essentially. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to escape out of this presentation. I'm just going to go to Google, our friend Google here, and you'll see here that I've typed in staffing company lists USA. So all of a sudden here on the list you've got recruiters and staffing firms, Riley Guide, you've got the best staffing client winners. This is an award for staffing companies. So let me open a few of these up just to give you a perspective. So here's a list of staffing companies by Site HR, and that they have literally somebody has actually created lists or Excel spreadsheets of staffing companies that you can download off the internet. Another list here, this is the fastest growing staffing companies in the United States, and it actually shows you their revenue, what their growth rate is. This is a list for 2013, so it's just the year just gone. So there are over 100 companies here, or actually there's more. No, there are 92 companies here on this particular list that you can go after. This list here is Riley's Guide, from A to Z, the recruiters and staffing firms in the United States. So here we have from A to Z all the staffing companies on a list here. Now you can employ a part-time person to go and scrape this list for you. We also have a listing here of the largest online staffing platforms, global staffing firms, largest online staffing platforms for the industry 2013 in the landscape, if you're looking at landscape staffing companies. Another one here is the best staffing website here, and all of a sudden they've got the staffing agency winners, and they've got them even by the year 2014, 2013, 2012. But here we have all clickable links to, I think, well over 400 staffing companies in this particular list as well. So same thing is if I was going after the printer market, again, I would just type in printing company lists USA. And lo and behold, we have lists of American publishing and printing companies. We have printing company lists of top printing firms through Ranker. We have printing impressions 400 listing of the top commercial printers. So essentially, if I click into some of these, this is Eslon USA, look at all the subcategories. You've got book publishing, brochure printing services, car magnets, card printing, catalog printing, commercial printing, custom printing, desktop printing or publishing. So all these subcategories that you have within the printing niche, and then all the links and contacts to all the lists that you can get access to. So all you do is click on a particular niche, and then I guess, look at the list of companies that are listed in this particular list. We've got here Ranker, which is looks like a search service, and it has a list of printing companies, and lo and behold, you've got all these companies here with links and print. Now, sometimes when you're looking at lists, they'll also give you the name of the owner of the business, the phone number, the email address in some cases. So these lists can be quite thorough when you start looking. Printing impressions 400. Look at the top 400 printing companies, and you've got links here for all these lists. Companies as well. So you can go and hire a virtual assistant online on Odesk or Freelancer, and then ask them to go and scrape this list for you, and probably within a matter of 24 hours you'll have 400 people you can go and contact. You've also got printing company lists. There's this particular service here which is Street Directory, and they literally list printing companies, and it also gives you a little description of the company and where they're based, that you can gain access to. The Milwaukee Business Journal, another one, the top of the list, commercial printing companies. So there's a bit of an article that talks about different printing companies within the state of, or within Milwaukee, or I guess in the Illinois or Chicago area. So there's no shortage of places that you can actually find lists in the market. The key here is to basically use some common sense in your search, and you'll be surprised at how easy it is to find contacts in the market. I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope it does help you to certainly open your eyes to the opportunity of finding lots of niche markets and lots of lists. If you've got any questions, feel free to Skype me on John Logar1. If you want to send me an email to john@makeeverydaypayday.com. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the very best in your list generation and prospecting or idea extraction in the market.